Good morning and welcome back to the channel. We are at the KOA here in Fountain, Colorado, and we are excited to be back traveling after our month-long hiatus in Texas. It's a lot cooler here. September is going to be our last month in Colorado, so we are doing a loop around Colorado and checking off anything that we haven't seen yet. For the last 6 months, we've been staying in Colorado Springs, Colorado, and I realized this morning that we haven't showed off any of this beautiful city that we've called home. So today we're going to check out Colorado Springs, Manitou Springs, Garden of the Gods, Pikes Peak. We're going to ride on a train, and much more, or less, or just that. We'll see what the day has to hold. Without further ado, let's roll that intro and get this video started. So we are up here at the top of Pikes Peak. We took the Cog Railroad up. That's my first time actually taking the Cog Railroad. It's been under construction for the last 2 or 3 years. It's newly renovated. One thing I would take into consideration is if you're gonna take the Cog Railroad, it is set up like a city bus. So you are kneecap to kneecap with someone who will start as a stranger and end up your friend because you're riding kneecap to kneecap the whole ride. I would probably go ahead and take the road next time, being that with up to 4 people in your car, you're gonna pay the same price as you pay to reserve your seat on the train. The train doesn't see any scenery that the road's not seeing. I wouldn't expect a mass amount of scenery coming up Pikes Peak. There's not waterfalls, there's not trees and this and that. Its attraction is that it's a very tall mountain, and if you look behind me, I mean, we're in the heavens. We're standing far above everything else. You can see Colorado Springs, you can see all of the surrounding towns. America the Beautiful was actually written on top of Pikes Peak, so that's pretty neat. It's a must-see when you come to Colorado Springs. Don't expect crazy Colorado scenery and take your car. The railroad, it seems like they're trying to get all of their money out of it and cram as many people as they can in there. You do have to wear a mask on the railroad because of how many people they have crammed in there. So I'd take your car for the price and do the drive by yourself. But we're gonna check out what they have to offer up here. Since I've last been here, they've done a lot of construction and got some different things going. So let's go and check that out. So we were able to check out the new Pikes Peak Visitor Center. It looks like they've got a little exhibit area where you can study about Pikes Peak and learn a lot. Little kind of museum area. They've got a cafe for food and drinks. The train does not give you a lot of time to get food and drinks. One more suggestion, I'd probably suggest taking the car up. They've got restrooms in there for you to take a break, and they've got a little gift shop so that you can get all of your memorabilia. Last time I was up here, this is pretty much all you were able to do, so that's pretty nice to be able to take a break, get some merchandise, get a bite to eat. Definitely worth checking out. Let's get back on the train and get on the road. So that is a wrap on the Cog Railroad. We're now going to head into Manitou and show you Manitou Springs. It's a little suburb right outside of Colorado Springs. If you're in the area, you've got to check out Manitou Springs, and you've got to check out our favorite lunch spot, the Townhouse. Let's go get some nachos. Okay, so that is going to wrap up our day today in Colorado Springs. We've seen all that we can see. We've run out of time. We've got some friends from this area that are going to come over for a barbecue before we head out of Colorado at the end of the month. Tomorrow, I do have 2 more parts of this vlog. There's another Colorado must-see and one of my favorite breakfast places in downtown Colorado Springs that you've got to check out if you're in this area. But tonight, we're going to rest, relax, and eat some burgers. So let's go.
Good morning, and we are back. It is Tuesday morning here in downtown Colorado Springs, and I'm standing in front of one of my favorite breakfast places of all times, King Chef's Diner. They've got a burrito here that I do half green chili and half gravy on. It is the size of a small child, and you will not be able to finish it. It was actually featured on the Food Channel a couple of years ago as the best breakfast burrito in Colorado, and I don't disagree. Unfortunately, King Chef's Diner is closed on Tuesday, so if you're gonna visit, don't visit on a Tuesday. Fortunately, we are in downtown Colorado Springs, so there is a ton of stuff to do, see, and eat, so let's go check some of that out. Okay guys, Pikes Peak was a must-see when visiting Colorado Springs in the Pikes Peak region, but Garden of the Gods is another completely unique thing to the Pikes Peak region and a must-see when you're visiting Colorado Springs. My buddy Seth and I actually shot a video when we first started filmmaking of Garden of the Gods, and although it's terrible quality and we did not know what we were doing, we did record a couple interesting facts. So I'm going to flash back to past Kyle and let him tell you a couple interesting facts about Garden of the Gods. Behind me, these big red rock formations were actually formed a couple million years before the most recent ice age, when the tectonic plates collided underneath the earth, causing them to rise above and create this wonder. So believe it or not, this whole area was actually covered with water at one point. There have been several findings of different fossils that indicate that there was different sea life in this park. During the Ice Age, the ice actually eroded the rocks, creating all of these different formations and caves, which at one point the indigenous people actually lived in. Didn't know, in 1878, they actually found a dinosaur here. It was, what kind of dinosaur was it? I hope that wasn't too bad, guys. So I'm gonna finish my ride through Garden of the Gods and head out to Old Colorado City. I'm gonna take some footage there. If you're looking for just a place to shop or mill around or find something to eat or drink, Old Colorado City, Manitou Springs, and downtown Colorado Springs are going to be the best options. I've got to get to Alamosa tonight, so I'm going to go take some footage of Old Colorado City to show you, and then I've got to get on the road. Okay guys, I am super sorry that I don't have more time to show you more of Old Colorado City. Essentially, if you're looking for a place in Colorado Springs to hang out, walk around, grab a drink, get some souvenirs, Old Colorado City, Manitou, and downtown Colorado Springs are going to be the biggest bunch of local shops, restaurants. I am on a giant rush today and on a giant rush the rest of the month. My fiance is already in Alamosa and probably wondering where I am, so I had better grab my drink and get on the road. I will pick back up with you guys tomorrow. We are due at the sand dunes, so we will see you there. Yeah, do they not have Fiji water here? What? I guess it's shaped the same.
$1 for another Gatorade?
Nah, I'll just take one.
$6.22.
It is Thursday, September 2nd. We are in Alamosa, Colorado. We have been here about a day longer than we expected. This is actually our second visit to the sand dunes. The last time we visited the sand dunes, we were here for 3 whole days. It rained the entire time we were here. Yesterday, when we arrived and planned on going to the sand dunes, we got rained out again. So we stayed until today. We've got the sun out. It's a lot better weather-wise. It's a little bit warmer. So we're gonna go try to finally check the sand dunes out for the 3rd time today. So let's go. Okay, so now that Mara is finished being a free photographer for everyone who passes through the Great Sand Dunes National Park and Preserve sign, we're gonna go inside and see what it's about, like the other 5 people that she's taking photos of, and then let them go while we take photos of more people. Let's go check it out. So that is the Great Sand Dunes National Park and Preserve. There's a lot of sand. There's a couple dunes. That's about it. I don't know if you're expecting much from the Great Sand Dunes. I did read to only spend a couple of hours here, and I'm glad I read that, and that we only sectioned the morning of today off. There's not a ton to do. They do rent out boards, sandboards at the visitor center, so I highly suggest stopping at the visitor center before heading to the dunes so that you at least have a little bit of an activity to do over here. Most national parks don't allow dogs in them. It turns out that the Great Sand Dunes actually does allow dogs, so we wish we would have looked into that before coming, because we would have brought Molly and Cooper. Other than that, pretty cool exhibit. I'm really shocked by all the vegetation, trees, and green around this giant pit of sand and dunes. If you're in the Alamosa area, passing through the Alamosa area, or a big fan of traveling through all the national parks, Great Sand Dunes is a must-see. Absolutely well maintained, other than the one cigarette I found out there. This is not cool, people. This is a national park. You shouldn't be smoking while hiking, and if you're gonna smoke while hiking, put it in your pocket and carry it out. There we go. If you're like us and you have an RV and you're visiting the Great Sand Dunes National Park, there actually is the Pinion Campground inside of the Great Sand Dunes National Park, which has spots fitting up to, I believe, 30-foot long rigs. Looks like they've got some bathroom and shower houses, as well as a little general store. It also looks like they've got a bunch of different hiking trails coming off of the campground. The views around it are gorgeous. Mountains on one side, sand dunes on the other. If we didn't require our comfort as much as we did, we would not be sitting in the Walmart parking lot. We would be in a 35-foot rig here at the Pinion Campground. But we've got that extra 6 feet, so the Walmart in Alamosa is going to be our home. If you're in the same boat as us and you're in a big motorhome or fifth wheel, Alamosa Walmart is about 35 minutes away from the sand dunes, and it's got plenty of room for large rigs and RVs, as well as all the resources around, and they are friendly to RVs. We were not the only one camping there last night. So we are going to go pick up the camper and get back on the road. We've got another video coming at you next week. That is going to end this week's vlog. I hope you guys enjoyed traveling with us. If you guys like this video, like any of our videos, or like us in general, please remember to hit that red subscribe button before you hit the red X and hop off the internet today. And we will see you guys in the next one.